I think the challenge of this session is to try to figure out what can we do that isn't going to cost a lot of money, because if there's one thing that we don't have, it's a lot of money. So it's going to be a real challenge for us to work on some of these things, but the topics here that have the most appeal to me are number 4, an act concerning funding for brownfield remediation. I think that does have potential to have impact on most parts of the state. Item 5, which Senator LeBeau mentioned, the expedited permitting for economic development. Right now, people that are looking to do anything on an economic development side really face obstacles in the state of Connecticut. And anything we can do to make that process smoother and make it work for people, I think, is in our best interest. And of course, item 13, the state's regulatory environment, that is critical as well. There are many challenges that we face here, and one of the themes that I heard too is the theme of predictability. And the challenge for us and the challenge for you is that when we hear and talk about predictability, we get along in the Commerce Committee in putting together thoughtful, realistic proposals. I don't always link arm in arm with my self-proclaimed liberal Democrat here, but we do think a lot alike in terms of what can we do to make business better in the state. Challenge we face often comes from other committees within this building, and those committees, particularly the Labor Committee, really throw some curveballs at us, and some of their efforts really work against, although they're well-intentioned, they work against many small business interests. So there's this constant push and pull that we're dealing with. So that's one of the challenges that we have, and I really want to encourage everyone here to be very active in terms of monitoring the legislation that is going forward in the state of Connecticut, not just the legislation of this committee, but the legislation of other committees, so that you can be aware of some of the proposals that are out there and that you can influence them. We have had some discussions in the past about a loan fund. There are a couple members of the Commerce Committee that are bankers, myself included, and the loan fund concept is an interesting one. If you were to talk to people within this room here, some people probably would say that they have had a hard time getting credit from local banks. Other people have not had a problem doing that, and it really is a function of the banks that you're using. It's also a function of your profits. I mean, banks typically don't like to lend to businesses that are struggling. So the idea and concept of a loan fund, I think, has a lot of potential. I guess our challenge is going to be to try to make sure that if it's there, that we maximize scarce dollars, that we're only working on projects for people that allow community banks, for example, to really leverage those dollars in terms of a safety net with SBA guarantees, perhaps. So I don't want to endorse wholeheartedly the revolving loan fund without some additional work on it, but I think there are some seeds here, and I think this committee is well positioned to take advantage of them.